Welcome back. Tax relief is set to kick in next month for millions of Australians, but the cost of living crisis still continues to bite, with this week's inflation numbers triggering fears of a future rate rise.
But there is some good news for those looking to stretch their budget and get the most out of their money. Finance guru Mark Bouris is handing out 40 grand. That sounds good. And guiding you on the road to home ownership. We welcome back Executive Chairman of Yellow Brick Road, Mark Bouris. Hello, Mark.
Hey, guys.
OK, let's get into this first. It looks like inflation numbers are remaining stubbornly high. I think they even went up slightly. Yes, they did. There's now talk the RBA could increase the cash rate again to try and put the brakes on as early as August. What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't think that's going to happen. And the reason why I don't think it's going to happen is because those prices of goods and services that have gone up are things that higher interest rates won't control. So they're non-discretionary spending. They're things like petrol prices, school fees, insurance premiums, those types of things. So, and it's not as if Australians are going, yeah, I want to buy that, I'm going to pay more for it, but I can't now because the interest rates have changed. They're things you have to buy. So I think the Reserve Bank will acknowledge that and wait for the next inflation read, which will be sometime later in August. My gut feeling is the answers to that question is that won't be a rate rise in August.
For anyone with a mortgage, mate, the past few years have been horrible. You say owning your own home should be an advantage, not a burden. Just sort of talk us through that concept.
Well, the concept originally was during the COVID period you can borrow money at 2%, and that was what the government was encouraging by putting a lot of money into the system. And as a result of that, there's being so much money, everybody could borrow money at 2%. That's not very difficult to do. All of a sudden, those people are now paying 6. They have a 6 in front of the number, so it's like 3 times, and the repayments are much larger and are a burden. Therefore, no longer owning a home is an advantage, it's actually a burden. And people are struggling big time. And it's just unfair. It's just unfair. We shouldn't be lured into these situations and then somebody try to manipulate us by our spending habits by hitting us with huge interest rates.
OK, so what's your advice for anyone struggling?
Well, the first thing is to contact your lender or your broker if you're dealing through a broker and tell your broker, look, is it possible for me to get an interest-only period? In other words, no principal and interest. Or, alternatively, is it possible for me to get a lower rate? Or is it possible for me to switch from one lender to another lender? Then on the income side of things, you've got to watch all your costs. You must do a budget now. A lot of people went into
You can't just wing it.
You just can't wing. You could win interest rates at 2%. At 6 point something%, and some people are paying 7 and 8.
Yes,
you must have a budget, and you've got to look at those expenses. Which expenses can I now do without? You've got to do it, and then you've got to look on the income side. How can I earn a few more dollars? Unemployment's still only 4%, which is very, very low in a historical sense. So therefore, most employers are looking for employees. So how can I earn another dollar?
Your company's getting set to give away $40,000. That sounds inviting to a lot of people. How can we get involved?
Well, it's about helping a mate. So at the end of the day, we want YBR borrowers or anyone who wants to borrow money to go along to a YBR branch. If you refer, you're in there and you go online to there, it's ybr.com.au/mate. You go onto that website, you put your name in there, and then you can refer a friend. And both of you then will go into the draw to win $10,000 each, and we're giving away 40 grand altogether. And the whole objective here is to get people, offer them some money, to get them committed to trying to do something about their home loan, either reduce the amount of money that they're borrowing, or reduce the repayments they've got to make, get a better interest rate, etc. So it's about refinancing people if they can and get their mates involved as well. OK,
well, people can go to the website and have a look. From next week, there will be tax cuts across the board. As workers get a little bit, what should they do with that money?
Well, for me, every extra dollar, I said right before, create a budget, but the objective of creating a budget is reducing your costs and bank some money, or at least put yourself in a position that you can afford your mortgage. So everything right now, do not lose your house. And I tell you, this is the best bit of advice I can give you. Interest rates will come down at some stage. The deal here is hang in there as long as you possibly can.
Do everything you can
to
hang on.
Do everything you can. That's what it's all about. So if the government's giving you a bit more money, use that to survive a longer period and just set yourself up for the period when the interest rates come down, and then you'll be sweet.
They are coming down. They will come down.
They always do.
All right. Good to see you, mate. Thank you for coming in. For more information about Mark Bouris' 40K giveaway, just head across to our website. All the details are there for you.